Hello guys, Vengeancer here. So you getting two grinding videos back to back. We're doing something a little different today. Not different from grinding, just different in general. I'm grinding Fetus habitat, and that place I'm probably capped out. It's very low. I've never grinded this before. However, there's a drop event going on. And let me turn these up real quick. Anyway, there's a drop event going on for hot time. I hit the wrong damn key. And there's also a treasure event going on. So Fadus habitat can drop potion pieces. Very specifically, it can drop the potion piece that normally drops at Shira runs. So we're giving it a try. Maybe. Like I said, I don't know where the rotation is. I have no clue what I'm doing. I've never grinded here. I skipped this place because it was low, and I grinded. I should probably go over there. We'll see. The trash loot over here is more than the trash loot at the ruins where we normally grind this potion piece, so maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. And the whole grinding experience, maybe I'm just bad at wizard, I don't know, but the succession wizard is just lackluster. I'm not having a fun time grinding on it. Which is sad because wizard is, I mean, I love my wizard, but Prolibus gutted them whenever they did all those succession changes and stuff. I need to run some numbers and see if... how do I get down from here? I want to go over to the actual Fetus habitat spot instead of being over here. We're jumping off. Whee! Let's waste buffs a couple of minutes and get over here in the actual Fetus habitat area on the map. Come on. Bear with me. Like I said, I haven't been over here. I didn't grind this. I don't know the rotations. I didn't go look them up. It's trying to send me... What if we go, like, over this way? Some over there. Is this, So there are a bunch over here. Okay. This is fine. This isn't too bad. There's a pretty big cluster here. What about further down? This is completely exploratory for me because, like I said, I haven't been here before. The extent of this was, for me, grinding here was just to get whatever quest I was doing at the time done. So I didn't spend like hours here grinding like I have elsewhere. But this is definitely, so far, to me, preferable. I prefer this over Shira runs. I don't like that it's a Shira runs place. I just don't like Dragon in general, I don't think. Because Blood Wolves, I can't stand them either. I don't know what it is about them. And Blood Wolves isn't even that bad of a grind. So I'm just not really sure. Maybe it's just like the jungle style regions better. Anyway, I will say that there's more useful things in the dragon region. Basically, the dragon scales. The Manjum voodoo dolls that drop here, they're not useful at all. They're useless. But maybe we'll drop the potion piece and won't have to grind either spot anymore. This is how I got the Blood Wolf piece. I went and grinded the other place during the treasure event. I grinded Cadres instead of Blood Wolves, and I ended up dropping that. So maybe we'll get lucky. We're at 276%. We can kick that up to 286%. And see what it do. Said maybe I'll get lucky, and maybe I'll make more than I do at the Shira place, because I didn't have good experience at Shira runs. Grinding, grinding, and more grinding. Let's port down here. So I've been reading some feedback and replying to comments and stuff about my wizard in general on the on yesterday's video. And I 100% agree that 16,000 trash loot at Elvia Orcs is utterly atrocious. I wasn't full buffed. I didn't use church buffs or anything like that, or any draughts or anything. So full buffed and hard grinding, you know, just not even, just going as fast as I can, and everything probably would get me closer to 20k trash loot, but I just don't think the Succession Wizard has the power. Even at 300 AP, it's pretty bad. I just don't think the power's there. I think Prolibus has gutted the wizard to the point where Succession Wizard has just fallen off, which is sad, because at least it's sad for me. I'm a magic user at heart, and I don't have an aversion or like any prejudice or anything towards melee classes, but let's go this way. But I just prefer magic users, and I prefer ranged casters. I've considered switching my main class over to Sage, because it's the other caster that interested me, but it's a lot of work to switch mains. It really is. The only thing I could do is tag it, I suppose. And go that route. And I think also if I were to probably lower my graphics, I could get a little bit better. What is it? Maybe FPS, but BDO locks your FPS to your monitor refresh rate anyway, so that's not going to change anything. Maybe the cast times or something would be different, but I don't really drop frames even on Ultra when I'm playing, so, you know, I don't think that would be a solution. Plus, when I'm recording and talking, I'm kind of not grinding as hard. I'm just sitting back, thinking about other stuff, and just kind of not hard focusing on the rotation that I'm doing. I mean, even like now, I'm doing it now. I'm just kind of running around. Let's go this way. Ooh, a Destruction Spirit Stone. Dew of Tranquil Forest, that's not gonna do me any good. I want potion pieces, man. You know, I'm always afraid to, they put out that event, right? And you say, oh, here's the chart. Or whatever it be. Yeah, Fetus habitat is normally the Shira Ruins spot, so there's no guarantee until you actually get a piece there. It's like, am I grinding this for nothing? Like, is the event even in effect? And I'm never 100% sure whether I trust Pearl Abyss until I actually get a drop. So it could be just that respawn rate on these things are a lot higher than Shira Ruins too. So it could just be that I'm grinding Fadus, useless Fadus habitat for nothing. So, while we're on the subject of character classes and everything, I haven't spent a huge amount of time playing a bunch of the other classes. And maybe I'm just, I've kind of touched on this before, maybe I'm just old, maybe it's just old MMORPG style mentality for me, but I've always thought in MMORPGs, or just an RPG in general, that, you know, you make your character, and I mean, it's role playing, so you're kind of, you know, playing that role of your character. So I always look at my character as an extension of myself. So obviously, I tend to stray away from classes that are gender locked into the female role. I don't have anything against them. It's just my preference. And that whole argument, you know, there's a lot of arguments for and against it, but I still think that gender lock classes are just, I don't know why BDO did that to begin with. That's kind of an old traditional thing in games, older games. I guess it saves them having to make, they can make half as many character models, right? And animations, so they only have to do one. They don't have to do male and female for both. So I guess on their end it's less work, but I don't know, kind of limits player bases and limits your options for people that, like me, prefer to play as their gender, you know. So traditionally, that locks me out of some classes just because I don't, and I wouldn't. It wouldn't be so bad if I could turn off the character voices, and even the male one bothers me when he does all the screaming when he casts. But if I turn that off, then all the cutscenes and all the character NPC voices and everything, they're all tied that way. So, you know, I don't want to do that skill. That bothers me. So I just leave it on and deal with it. But, it would open up more in terms, I always thought the Guardian was a cool class. The giant shield. And when I played Terra, I played a Lancer for a little while, so the big lance, like giant shield thing, it appeals to me. Hands down, if the Berserker would have been a giant single-handed axe, which is what they're, you know, I always think of when I think of a Berserker as a giant sword or a giant single-handed axe, not like a dual single-handed. You wanted a single dual-handed axe. It's just a big axe, both hands, kind of like how the Guardian Awakening was. I would have been more apt to play that over the Wizard, because when I played Terra, I loved the Berserker in that class, where, you know, you had just a giant axe, just smash stuff. It was awesome. You felt like, you know, your attacks had some weight behind them. No potion pieces yet. We're 15 minutes in. We'll go back up here to this other side over here so we can get a few more kills in. But anyway, classes. I have considered Sage. I always thought the idea of like a magical tank was cool. I know that like PDO doesn't really have traditional class roles like tank, healer, support, whatever, you know. But Blue Beast. That's kind of a cool title. Maybe I'll switch to that. So I don't really think that there's a full-on like tank class or whatever. I know there's classes that are tankier, but Wizard just seemed to fit my playstyle because like I said, I like casters. And I don't know. I haven't played Sage too much. I made a season a while back on him. You know, like a year or two ago or whatever it was. Whenever I made it. And went through season, and then after that I haven't touched it since. But it seemed like it was a caster. It just seemed kind of slow to me. But I guess most casters are. But the skills seemed like they did a lot of damage or hit very hard or whatever you want to classify it as. Where can we go? I guess we'll just wrap back around. Stuck in the train. I don't, like I said, I don't know the rotation on this, so I don't know if it's good or bad, or if there was a spot that I could do better. I should have came over here and scoped this out previously. I'm kind of currently running around here. I know that... Okay, sure. Cancel my map. I know that the Loopy Tree Forest is the node that is associated with Fadus. Kind of like the Tree Tars, whatever that place is called. The Tooth Fairy Forest is associated with Forest Runros. But I don't know, even at almost 300%, we're not getting any piece drops. So this may be a wasted effort. I do not know. Come on, pets. You need to step it up. A few more up here. I don't even worry about those poachers. I just ignore them. Of course, we got all the Ellie special seals. Picking up the drop table. This place seems to be, at least to me, less visually taxing. My eyes seem to flock towards like the blues and the cooler colors, with where Sheer Ruins is. It seems kind of foggy and just kind of, I don't know, just a mess. Oops, I hit the wrong key. $20 in and no drop. I was hoping this would be like a we'll get RNG carried and we'll just get the full potion piece and I'll be like, yep, I'm moving on, I'm done. Rain of Fire. It's pretty bad whenever the wizards, the succession wizards most, and I kind of touched on this before, but the biggest damaging attacks are the Awakening, like Bullhide of Destruction from the Awakening, and then the Magnus skill, which is Rain of Fire. It's crazy. Gotta pause there. I had to get the cat down. She decided that she was going to join in the grinding, only she was trying to climb the computer. Come on, give us a potion piece, dude. Just, you know. Come on, Pearl. So, alright, I'm gonna put it this way. Pearl Abyss, you owe me. Because you destroyed my wizard class, so now you owe me, like, something in return. Messing with the cat again. She likes to come in here and climb through everything, and it's not... Oh, trying to use Mana Siphon when it was on cooldown. Made me jump in the air. So for the wizard, Mana Siphon is the MP absorption skill, and you have to cast a skill and then you can cast it afterwards for people that don't play wizard. And then you got to hit the spacebar as the combo. So, you know, you cast and then spacebar and it does it. There's no other way to cast it. Since they made all those wizard reworks or whatever you want to call them. And so if you're not paying attention, like I wasn't, and cast it while it's on cooldown, then you jump in the air and then you get comboed into being knocked down. Luckily these things don't do that, so I don't have to worry about it, but like over there at Orcs, got myself killed by getting knocked down. So. Alright, give me a sec. Anyway, I am to the point now where I think I am ready to switch off of Wizard. I don't like any... I did consider Sage, but I don't really like any of BDO's current classes over the Wizard. So all I can do is hope they come out with another male caster in the future, and then just switch off of it. Either that or they just fix Wizard, you know. Maybe the solution now is to just go Awakening. Get down. I'll be glad when the kitten phase is over. And she only does this when I record, which is the craziest thing. I don't know what her problem is, but as soon as I'm starting to record for you all, she's in here trying to get into everything that she's not supposed to. Makes me lose my train of thought. No, I don't want to cast a meteor shower, or whatever that's called. Use those two guys to get my mana back. Hold on. And my other qualm with just going Awakening is that I have 293 AP instead of 300 because I have a Tet Black Star instead of a Pen Black Star. Because I did the staff first because I was Succession. So the 7 AP loss. 7 AP loss may actually make things worse than if I just stay Succession and just hope that PA fixes their screw up. I don't even know what they did to, like, I guess they gutted some of the power off the skills, but I don't even know what they really did to just make Wizard not pull as much trash loot, because before Wizard was like top grinder and I don't know what happened. Like, Succession Wizard was supposedly so overpowered, and I never felt that power really. And now all of a sudden it's like all these other classes are top tier grinding and Wizard is trash. So I just don't know what they did to change that. But it's bad. I hate putting out a video like the one yesterday with Orcs. I'll grind and put out a video and it's like yeah, I barely managed 15.9k trash loot, barely managed to get 16k, and you got classes that are pulling 40 to 50,000, and it's like, how? I'm one-shotting the monsters, and I know that, like, recording and stuff, I expect it to fall a little bit just from casually concentrating more on what I'm saying than casting skills. And just like now, I'm kind of just wandering around killing stuff. I'm not in like a super huge... It's not a super huge deal if I, you know, waste a little time walking around back and forth, but that big of a trash loot disparity between some classes and others, I don't know how. Maybe Pearl Abyss doesn't expect you to play the older classes, I don't know. But I don't think all the other older classes are like that. Or, I mean, I know that some of the original classes pull really good trash loot. Like, wasn't it like a Meiwa or something at Centaurs was just breaking the game? I can't remember. So I don't know. But I think, and then BDO developers, Pearl Abyss, didn't they like recently rework the Wizard, like animations and everything to his style and stuff? It's like that's the kind of rework that you get. His animations need rework. It takes him so long to cast anything that you're just animation locked. I found that being a problem in PvP as well. I can get like one skill off and then I just have to spend the rest of the time running for my life. There is no animation time to get the wizard animations off. I have a couple of skills that I can do that are quick animation, but they're not my main damaging skills. So like even Bolide is highly telegraphed in your animation locked. You can't, like I can't move during it, so it's not like the slasher classes or the super speed movement classes. And I can get a little bit extra casting speed if I teleport and then cast. But it's still a 1 second animation lock, so I'm just stuck there. That coupled with the reduced movement of Wizard, like this isn't any faster than running. Like I can sprint just as fast as I can magic evasion, and I've only got 2 teleports that have 6 second cooldown, so I can't just port to pack after pack like other classes can and just sweat grind as much as they can. So already a disadvantage. I don't know. But that's what we do when we care, you know, about something. You just keep complaining until it changes, or you put up with it. I'm gonna have to get a cat because she is now messing up stuff that she shouldn't be messing with. Cat. Toast. Leave it alone. Go. Bad kitty. Her mommy's gonna be mad. She's chewing on mommy's phone cord, the phone charger. She's gonna be upset about that. And you know what I'm gonna say? You wanted her. Hey, we got a pity piece. So they do drop here. Good. I'm not just grinding for no reason. But it was definitely a bad decision picking a class that, well, see, whenever I first made this account and started playing, it was beginning of 2017. I waited 1 year to see how the game was going to pan out because I had just come off of playing a bunch of different MMORPGs and I didn't really trust any company because they were all turning out to be, you know, oh, let's jump in, let's play, we'll play for a year, and then they all went to crap. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to wait a year and then I'll play it. So I did. I waited a year and it still looked like it was doing okay, so I jumped in. And whenever I made this Wizard was a decent class. It was one of the original release classes. You know, it wasn't falling off, and Chain Lightning was a thing. I could just run around and Chain Lightning everything, and it would just drop. But it was low-level areas, right? So I was like, okay, this is cool. I like grinding with this character. And then they completely came out with the Awakening and reworked how classes played, and I was like, well, you know, Awakening is pretty fun. I spent some time as Awakening right up until they did Succession, and it was like, well, I don't like having to switch back and forth between Awakening stance and non-Awakening stance. Or then it wasn't called Succession, it was just, you know, the normal Wizard stance, to be able to use my heal skills and my base Wizard skills. So, you know, when Succession came out, I'm like, cool, I want to play that. And then turns out it was very overpowered, but now, you know, a few years later, in a position where now I can't even compete at all at top grinding classes. It's you know, when people are pulling even 40,000 trash loot, which seems to be pretty average among the higher tier grinding classes, that's 2.5 times what I can pull on this Succession Wizard. And it's like, maybe it was a bad decision making this class. But it's that way with any class, because, you know, you could come out with a, get down, Toast. You could come out with a new class that I like to play. Let's kill this chief real quick. And then if they come out with a new class and it's like, oh yeah, it's real overpowered and it's fun to play and it's a new caster and I want to play it and it's a grinding class that I enjoy grinding with, you know, fantastic, right? But then you're also worried about the class because you just know that Pearl Abyss is going to nerf it down, just like they did with Wusaw and Megu. They have to downtone it because they always come out overtuned. Their numbers are always way too high to appeal to everyone to get to play it. Flavor of the month is a real thing. So you either jump on Flavor of the Month and switch classes constantly and just have one dedicated life skill, or maybe that's what I should do, is just switch all my gear, use all my tickets to swap my gear over to grinding class, and then just leave poor little Wizzy as a life skiller. But then I gotta grind another character up, and it's just, BDO, your second job. Very frustrating. Alright, let me jump back down here. I mean, I do have quite a few seasoned characters, and it doesn't take long to level a seasoned character up to 61, or even 62 at this point. And granted, I haven't been actively trying to get 63, I just kind of been letting whatever experience I get accumulate. Don't get stuck on the train. But even like convincing myself to switch classes, I don't even know which ones I would do because I have created every male class in the game. And I can't stand that Wusaw Megu pink crap that goes all over the screen during your skills. That stuff bothers me. Like it's just screen pollution to me anyway. So that one doesn't what are all these red dots on my map for? Alright, I need to go back up here where I was. I don't remember where that was. It was like over here. I need to go back that way. Where's my line in this guy? Lose half my health. Here we go. Hey, another pity piece. Yeah, I'm happy with the decision to come grind here. I am getting pity pieces, and this place is a lot better to grind than... Let me turn this on for y'all. This place is a lot better to grind than the Shira runs. I recommend it. Whether or not it's more profitable, I won't know for another 20 minutes, but casually we're at 11,000 trash loot. I'm not really hard grinding by any means. If I grind off screen, I do a little better just because I'm thinking about what I'm doing. But, you know. Maybe I need to duo grind this spot with my wife. She's pretty lucky. Maybe I'll get the potion piece if she's along. Come on, pets. You're just falling behind. That's another thing. I need to go spend the 600 or 800 million or whatever it is and get my tier 5 pet made. I never did because I was using the silver for other things, but I've got so much silver laying around. Maybe I should just go ahead and do it. Stuck on train again. Let's say that Blizzard skill is pretty satisfying. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep going like I am. You all seem to enjoy the grinding content and my random wandering thoughts, the places that my head goes while I'm grinding, because I kind of zone out on what I'm doing just so that I can get through it. ADHD kicks in. I don't want to go that way. I'm gonna crash into this tree limb that shouldn't be there. How dare they put a tree limb in my way. But I'm gonna do some research. I think I'm gonna scour the forums, the class forums, and look at some different things. And see if my experience on the wizard is the typical wizard experience, or if it's just something I'm doing wrong. Because if it's something I'm doing wrong and I can remedy it, then, you know, it'd be nice to know so that I know what I'm supposed to fix. But just like the orcs thing, the only thing that I personally see that I could fix during that hour that I just grinded on orcs, you know, I could try to grind a little faster, which... Uh-oh. Let's go take their supplies. Okay. That's a cool little event that I didn't know happened. Cool. Nice little black stones that I need. I need those anyway. I need thousands of blackstone armors. So that helps me out. But yeah, I could try to grind a little faster, which grinding a little faster is not going to make up 24,000 trash loot. I mean, I cannot. There's no way that I'm that bad that I'm missing out on 24,000 trash loot in an hour because I'm grinding too slow. You know, I mean, yes, but also not because of the way I'm playing. You know, I can see missing 5 to 10,000 maybe if I stepped it up. But my general understanding of the game mechanics and the game and just how my class works and stuff, if I full on buff... And now my dog is crying in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear him or not. He's been doing this lately, and I'm wondering if there isn't another dog around that's, you know, like a female dog, because he just cries if he's not outside. He just wants to be outside. So I don't know what's going on, but anyway, the general idea of my class and things, you know, full buffing and grinding as fast as I can, you might make up for 5,000 trash loot, I think. So yeah, instead of 16,000, maybe I could get 18 to 20,000 by changing stuff that I'm doing. But other than that, I don't see any way to improve. There's no way I'm gonna eke out 24,000 more to hit 40,000 trash loot just by adding, you know, a bit of to the AP cap, which I'm not far off from anyway. And then killing just a little bit faster in terms of like hand movements and stuff. So I just don't think that that's the problem. I think it's just the class is severely undertuned in PvE. But then again, Pearl Abyss has a hard job, because if you overtune Succession Wizard in PvE, it's going to become ridiculous in PvP. Yeah, so if you crank up the damage again, you're going to have to reduce PvP damage by even more. But I don't see how that's a problem, considering that the class, the damages versus other classes is already turned down to 90% or below for wizards. So I don't know what their aversion to wizards are. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm definitely going to do some research on it and see if I'm the only one experiencing this or if it's just a general consensus of the wizard is screwed and it's time to flee. And then I then I can record videos for you know, a few weeks or a couple months of me sucking at a new class really badly until I can learn how to play it, because I'll still be trying to grind like I'm on the wizard. Because I've played this for going on 6 years now. But let's go back over here. And that's the extent of my movement, that double teleport there. That's all I got. Okay. I don't know. It's just funny. Yay, a forest fury. I'd much rather have the potion piece. Okay, thanks. Give it to us, Fadus. I will say one thing, though, that I cannot stand the way the archer plays. I don't like that class. I've played him on season a couple of different times, and it's just, I can't do it. I can't stand it. So if I do end up finding that the wizard is just terrible, it will not be an archer, I'll tell you that much. Striker is not much better for me. I didn't like that class really either. I didn't try I did have a season of the Ashen, but I didn't play it enough to know whether I really liked it or not. I thought the tornado skill was kind of cool, but I don't see many of those around really anymore. So is the class bad? Would I be switching to something that's just as bad or worse than the wizard? Which is why I was leaning towards Sage, and he's the other caster that I thought looked cool, so I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research when I'm not grinding and recording. Massive pure magic. Yay, another pity piece. I'm getting more here than I normally get at the Shira runs, so maybe I'm just killing more monsters than I do here. These seem to be a little more clumped up. I was hoping I could just get RNG carried and just be like, well, I'm doing 1 hour and now we're done. Then y'all can tell me how RNG carried I am in the comments. I've had some decent luck in game, but I've also had some really bad luck in game. Namely when I'm trying to enhance and I'm failing Pride to Duo 2, 3, 4 times in a row at 50% or more. So, you know, it kind of balances itself out. Alright. This is the point of the video where I have to readjust because I'm getting tired of sitting in the same position. I haven't really addressed it, but I think it's getting a little better now that I've talked a little bit, or been speaking for a while. But my voice was unusually deep when I first hit record, and that's because I spent all day yesterday mowing and out in the weather, so the hay fever's kicked in again, and so it kind of bothers my throat. Which will be worse tomorrow because I plan on mowing all afternoon to get the rest of it done before it rains today, so yay that. kill these guys. I think it also, I feel like the wizard is inefficient because every single one of my skills is an AoE, and if I'm only killing one monster, it's like, well, that's a waste. I don't need an AoE for that, but I also don't really have any single target skills that cast fast, so, you know, I've got a, like, prime earth arrow, or magic, multiple magic arrows or whatever, but it's still kind of an AoE if it hits just right, so it just feels kind of inefficient there. Oh, be quiet, fairy. You generic cliche named fairy. So she's a green fairy, and I named her Tink, you know, after Tinkerbell from Peter Pan. She's green. She looks like Tinkerbell. Whoops. Yep. So, one other thing that I wanted to touch on. It'll probably take me 8 minutes or so to talk about this before I end this off. Is the channel content. If everybody made it this far in the video, you kind of give me your opinion on it, but Mr. Dragon suggested I make a second channel for some of this stuff, but it's like I explained to him. I barely have time for this channel. I'm putting in extra long days, so like during the, I'll get up fairly early, but during the morning we do everything we got to do, and then I will take time to sit down and record for you all and try to get this uploaded and out. And like now it's running right up against it because I still got to do a thumbnail, which I'll try and get out real quick. But I do all of that, and then I try to be outside, or back outside, I should say, by noon, which means I don't eat during the day. I don't eat until dinner time usually, or I'll just grab something to snack on. So, you know, there's that. But I try to be back outside by noon and do all kinds of stuff outside hard until evening time, you know, and so there's no rest in between. So I barely have time for this channel, let alone editing heavy edited videos and stuff like that. That's why I try and record the way that I do. But back to my original point, that's why I pretty much have this as a variety channel. I upload gaming stuff. Yeah, I want to do some of the farming stuff too. Just instead of, and it kills it in the algorithm, right? So it doesn't get recommended because YouTube doesn't really realize what I'm supposed to be recommended, or what audience I'm supposed to be recommended to, because I have so many different things on my channel. When I'm doing strictly BDO content, I get recommended to people looking for BDO, or people that frequently watch BDO content. But whenever I upload something that is a farm vlog or a different game, it kind of freaks out for a little bit and it doesn't know where to recommend me, so I stop getting exposure. Which is why for several weeks, and why the channel was growing, is because I was doing strictly BDO content. And why a large portion of you all that watch this, you know, are here for the BDO content, because that's what you found the channel through YouTube recommended stuff, right? But I don't have time to separate channels out, and I'm not really trying to gain millions. Hey, look, another potion piece. I'm not trying to gain millions of subs, followers, whatever you want to call them. You know, this is a side thing. If it makes money, great. Eventually, yes, I would like it to be monetized, and it would be kind of supplemental income. And it'd be great to take the camera with me and show off all the farm stuff that we do, kind of how we live, you know, that kind of thing. And it would just make the farm monetize the farm even more. But if I was to do that and just make a channel dedicated to that, then the gaming channel would pretty much go away. I wouldn't have time for gaming by the time I record all the farm stuff edit it all and, you know, do all that behind the scenes stuff. And it's kind of one of those all or nothing things. So I just kind of have to get as much stuff recorded as I can and then regurgitate it on this one channel and just hope that the algorithm doesn't screw me too badly. Or I'm just going to have to be picky and choosy and just give one up. So, you know, it is what it is. Maybe eventually. Wintertime, it's not a problem. Because, you know, I have things I need to do outside and stuff, but not like I do during the summertime. You know, it's pretty hard to grow plants and stuff during the wintertime. Especially here in Grow Zone 6. You know, the weather's pretty harsh for growing stuff during the Missouri wintertime. It gets very, very cold here. So, which is why I was doing daily content for a long time, but now I'm unable to do daily content. The content comes in sporadically. Because sometimes when it rains, I'll have 2 or 3 days in a row. Other times I'll have no days in a row or 1 day in a row. You know, that's why I miss days here and there, and I have been. But we do what we got to do. If we don't get this stuff done outside, then we don't eat. So it's a little bit more important to me than doing daily content. Just my little rant about that. Not that I disagree with any suggestions or anything that have been suggested that way, but just my little reasoning behind why I can't. Trust me, I would love to run 2 or 3 channels and just do that and make a living off of that. But unfortunately, if I'm doing that, then the other stuff doesn't get done. And hey, look, another potion piece, man. This has been a dang good hour. But the stuff that requires me to physically go do just wouldn't get done because there just isn't enough time. I just have to not sleep ever. But takeaway from this video, I am going to definitely do research and find out if it's just me doing something wrong, or if it's just a condition of being a wizard in BDO, how bad it is. I mean, PvP, I haven't had any problems. Granted, people that have more gear than me, definitely stomp me, and I need a bunch of practice because I haven't spent that much time PvPing. But I haven't seen the undertuning be a real hindrance in PvP, because I still think Succession Wizard is very good in PvP. It's just PvE, man. Grinding and just not getting the numbers that I want. So I need to find out if it's just me or if other wizards are also having this problem. I guess it's a reason why most big streamers are Berserkers or the new classes, Rusaws, Novas, Guardians, DKs. And I don't really see any huge streamers that are wizards. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but we are out of buffs, which means I am done with the grinding. Let me finish this little thing here. We're gonna hit this to find my mount. Well, no full potion piece this hour, but, you know, we got a lot of other stuff, so definitely a good thing that I came over here. Let's stop that. Set this to auto route back to my horse. Take a look at the crap that we got. Not impressive by any means, only 17.2k, but it's better than Shira runs, and we got 5 pity pieces out of that. I got 4 more hours I got to do sometime in the next 2 weeks, because that's when the scrolls expire, 14 days from now. I've got 2 more boxes full of these, so I got 10 more of those. I got another Agris coin box as well. Reason I was grinding orcs was because I wanted to use up some of these and get them out of my inventory. My inventory is an absolute mess. But if it's going to keep being bad like that, I don't know if I'll keep grinding. I don't want to just waste my coins for 16,000 trash loot. I can make more silver doing life skill stuff. So, that's all I got for today. I appreciate y'all watching, and hope you have a good rest of your day, and as always, until next time.